Good afternoon. My name is Colleen. I work in the medical sector. Presumably, I work in healthcare, including public healthcare. Presumably, I was given some certification after some training where I was supposed to learn the law and policies about how I was supposed to apply the law when it came to patient care. Part of my jobs involve making sure that people are prepared so that they can receive medical treatment that's going to be billed to health insurance, which in some cases includes Medicare under Social Security disability insurance. At one point in time, I had a conversation with somebody who later became Congressman Charity Crouse. Congressman Charity Crouse told me about Executive Order 13707, using behavioral sciences to better serve the American people, and how she understood this provided a cover, including under the context of being provided coverage by governmental immunity, to engage psychological operations against my patients so that I could fill quotas in order to advantage myself, and I could also provide kickbacks to her political campaigns. She told me that at some point in time, after a certain amount of time and a certain progression within the kickback scheme, including by identifying certain really high-profile patients and making sure that enough options were set up on them, that we would be able to go our own way and do what we wanted to do. At some point, there was information that was being distributed in consideration of quarantinable diseases, including respiratory diseases. Changes to the systems put into place under President Obama were different than the ones put into place under previous President Bush. And the understanding was that combined with the psychological operations we were already engaging, that when a time came where the already anticipated pandemic, including a pandemic that was going to involve a respiratory illness, came about, that we would be in a specific position to be able to set up deals and government contracts that we already knew were going to force collectivized private assets of individuals that were going to be coming in for treatment so that they could be rebid out through contracts, including small business contracts that some of our friends with LLCs were going to be able to set up through the DOD in ways that were previously inaccessible. Thanks to the Army Futures Command, we were able to take patient histories of those people we were serving, and we were able to come up with profiles that we liked for ourselves and our friends. And after they circulated for a specific period of time within the investment finance sector that other of our friends were working, that they would be available for us to assume for ourselves. This was really aided and abetted by the whole Russia Spygate situation, because in many ways, the relationship of Russian nationals and other people from the former Soviet Union for the last couple of decades hadn't really been exposed, including the racial and ethnic targeting of people from the former Soviet Union under sanctions policies in a way that was unique and distinct from people from other countries, including Arabs and including people now identified as Muslim. Of specific concern was a specific process that had been engaged by the inspectors general around 2012 and 2013 that was specifically targeting medical practitioners from the Ukraine and Georgia, as well as Central Africa, with allegations they had involved in fraud involving medical devices. The understanding was after a certain period of time that these reports through the inspectors general would be treated comparable to the kinds of manners of treatment that audits through the State Department would be treated, i.e. it would provide political risk insurance, not just for us as a supplement to the coverage we got by virtue of governmental immunity being applicable to us, including through our friendships with people in public office, but that might also be able to provide a foundation and being able to solicit or obtain very significant campaign contributions from major investment and financial companies, including ones that were given contracts by the government to do things like audit the Pentagon. So by the time we were ready to run for public office ourselves, we would have already identified people who had political campaigns we liked, but that we found politically undesirable, so that we could assume their identities with our names and we could run ourselves. My name is Charity Colleen Crouse. I've attempted for several terms to run for political office. I just haven't been successful so far. It is before 4 o'clock p.m. on January 6, 2023. I told you yesterday you needed to come out. Every single one of you claiming to be a congressman or senator for the United States of America. You are part of a terrorist organization masquerading itself as a constitutional government. You will be treated as terrorists.